students, welcome to this session. In this session, we are going to deal with the runtime environments. So now objective of this session is we are going to learn about the concept of runtime environments in compiler design. That means how a compiler is going to deal with the storage with respect to the program. So what is a runtime environment? So when a compiler is dealing with a storage, when a program is executing, that means after compilation, now the program is going to execute. So at the time, how the compiler is decide or it allocates or it requests memory to the operating system. That is the main motto of this. So how a program is stored during its execution and what is the role of compiler, now we are going to discuss in the runtime environments. So what is the role of the compiler in this particular execution of the program and the memory allocation to that particular program is discussed in the runtime environments. Next, it is also known as runtime storage management. Okay. So now the question, why we need the runtime storage management in compiler design? Because a runtime environment in compiler design deals with first managing the processor stack. So this is supplied by the operating system, how we are going to place our particular programs in the stack and what is the memory allocated to that, we are going to discuss in this here. And the layout and the allocation of memory for various variables what we are using in the source program. So if I am using a int data type, that means we have to allocate 2 bytes of memory depend upon the compiler. Okay, that all the information is provided by the compiler to the operating system. And instructions to copy the actual parameters on the top of the stack when a function is called. So when a function or procedure or recursion is going to be performed, so a stack data structure is coming to the picture and they are to be, the details are to be pushed onto the top of the stack in the form of AR. AR means activation record. Okay. So we are going to learn about this activation record within few minutes. Okay. Allocating and deallocating of the memory dynamically. So memory can be allocated statically and dynamically. If you are going for the dynamic memory allocation, so here we have allocation and deallocation concept. That means depend upon the user's need, we are going to allocate and deallocate the memory. Deallocate is nothing but we are free the memory. Okay. Next, the mechanism used by the target program to access the variables and the mechanism to pass the parameters to the various functions. Okay. Next, the interfaces to the operating system and input output devices and other programs. So this is the heart to deal with the executed program and to the operating system environment. Okay. Now come to the concept of memory. The memory is mainly divided into RAM and ROM as we know. So this is the random access memory and this is the read only memory. Everything is resides in the ROM until it is comes to the execution. If it comes to the execution, it to be loaded onto the RAM, which is also known as the main memory. Okay, and the RAM is further divided into 2 parts as operating system and user space like this. So this particular portion is for operating system and for this one is the user space. That means if we want to execute any program, it to be loaded in this portion only. And this is the fence register which can divide the operating system and the user space memory blocks. Okay. So if I want to allocate my program into this user space, I have to access this by using some memory addresses. Okay. Fine. Now, so what is runtime storage management? So after compilation of the source code, now we are going to save the program which is saved in the hard disk. If we want to execute such program, we need some memory in the RAM, because if any program or file want to execute, it must be loaded onto the main memory, which is the RAM. So the compiler demands some memory in RAM. So the compiler requests the operating system to allocate some memory for this particular program in the user space. What we said in the last slide. So this is the user space. In this user space, compiler demands some memory to the operating system. Okay, then operating system checks for the whether the memory is available or not. If the memory is available, it is going to allocate some memory, maybe a block of memory to the particular program, and compiler uses that block of memory, and it is the compilation of the program. Okay, so it uses the block of memory and to store the compiled program in that particular block. Okay, so what is the allocation of memory? So the source code is stored in the RAM. Okay, when the compiler requests the operating system, it allocates some memory to that particular program. So on the RAM, the program may be resides, and by name of its logical address space, which is a contiguous memory, we called it as a block. Okay, that means in the user space, a block of memory is allocated for this particular program, and such block is now we called as the logical address space. So now we are going to deal with this logical address space. That means what is the contents of the logical address space, or how it is going to be divided. This is the graphical representation of the logical address space. So which is further divided into seems to be 5 blocks. First one is the code. So what is this code portion consist? This code portion consists all the executable files. Okay, after linking session, which links all the executable libraries, all such thing is resides in this code portion. Next, come to the static data. In our program, if we are using any static declarations, they are to be placed here. Okay, what is static? If you are declared once, we cannot change in the further. What is static? If we declare once or if we assign some values, they are not to be changed in the remaining portion. Next, come to the heap. What is heap? So heap is some portion of the memory which is used for dynamic memory allocation. That means if we want to allocate memory at runtime, we are going to use this heap memory, and this is the free block of memory. And finally, this one is the stack. If our program consists a function call or procedure or recursion or anything, this block is going to be used. Suppose if our program consists more number of dynamic allocation concepts, that means in the runtime we are going to allocate much memory, then this heap is going to increase in this manner, because this is the free block of memory. But if our program consists a set of functions or procedure calls, more number of recursions, then the stack data structure is going to be used more, and it is growing in this manner. Okay, so sometimes we make say this is the low and this is the high. That means we are consider that this is the low address location. That means address location is starting from here, and this is the highest address location. And this free block of memory is going to be shrink when the program is going to be executed. Okay, allocating memory to the data items. That means what we are using in the program, how the memory is going to be allocated. So for allocating memory for the data items, the following information is required. So what are the information? The first one is size of the data item. That means if I am using a integer, depend upon the integer in that particular compiler, it may be 2 bytes. If I am using float, it is going to allocate 4 bytes. Okay, like that. And the data type of data item. What is the data item? What is the type of data item? Depend upon the type of data, it is going to allocate some memory. And dimensions of the data item. For example, if I am writing a of some 4. Okay, so depend upon the data type of this particular array, the memory is going to be allocated for that particular array A. Okay. Then the scope of the data item, it may be the global or local. Depend upon the scope also, the memory is going to be allocated in that particular logical address space. So as we saw in the logical address space, there are two types of memory as heap and stack. As we discussed, the heap is used in the dynamic memory allocation. Okay, that means it is going to allocate memory at the runtime. For example, if we are calling the C language, malloc, calloc, realloc and free. These are the four functions used to allocate memory in dynamic time. If it is Java, we are using new and delete for allocation and deallocation of the memory at runtime. Okay. If it is heap data structure, we are going to allocate the memory at the runtime. Suppose if we need 4 blocks of memory for the particular array A, so we can allocate only 4 blocks. Suppose if I allocated 10 blocks, but if I used only 5 blocks, so the 5 blocks of memory is wasted. So I can deallocate such memory. So the total blocks used by that program is, or that array is 5 blocks only. Okay. As we discussed, the stack is going to be used when there is a procedure or function call. So this is the basic logical address space. Okay. So this is the stack and this is the heap. So when there are number of functions or procedure calls, this stack portion is increased. You can clearly observe here the stack is very less. Okay. But here the block for stack is very more. That means it is increasing. That means here the free space is shrinking. Okay. Next, when a function or procedure is called, immediately an activation record is created and that is to be pushed onto the top of the stack. That activation record consists all the information about that particular function or procedure. Okay. And here one more term is there known as recursion. That means a function calling itself. To deal with this recursion, operating system provides the recursion stack. Okay. Now come to the activation record, which consists of totally 7 blocks. The first one is the actual parameters, means the parameters what we are using in the calling function. So here what is a calling function and what is the called function? Let us say if the function is like this. So here A is the calling function and B is the called function. So A calls B. So B is the called function, A is the calling function. So the parameters what we are using in the calling function are stored in the actual parameters. When come to the second one is the return values. Okay. So what is return values? Which is used to store the result of the function calls. That means after the function calling, what are the results computed in the called function, all the things are stored in the return values. Next, come to the third one, controller dynamic links. So what this control and dynamic link stores? It points the activation record of the calling function. So in the previous example, we saw A is the calling function and B is the called function. So this controller dynamic links points to the activation record of particular A. So here two functions are there. So two activation records are created and pushed onto the top of the stack. If a program consists n functions or procedures, then n number of activation records are created and they are to be pushed onto the stack. Okay. Come to the access or static links. So it refers to the local data of the called function, but it is stored in another activation record. Here we used the example as A and B. So here B is the called function. If we are using any data in B, it is seems to be the local data for B, and such data is stored in these links. Okay. Then come to the next one, it is saved machine status. What is saved machine status? That means it stores the address of the next instruction what is going to be executed. For example, if A is there and B is there. Okay. So after executing this B, what is the instruction it is going to be executed, that is stored in this saved machine status. Simply we can call it as the program counter, okay, which is a register which is going to store the address of the next instruction going to be executed, okay. The next one is local variables. The variables declared inside a function, it is going to be stored in the local variables. And come to the last one, temporary variables. While the program is executing, at the time, if any variable is created, that is stored here in the temporary variables. While we are dealing with the intermediate code generations or the 3 address code, we generate various number of temporary locations named as T1, T2, T3. So all such temporary variables are going to be stored here, okay. From this session, we learned what is the runtime environment and what is the heap allocation of the memory and what is the purpose of runtime allocations and what is the stack allocation and what is the purpose of stack allocating, okay. Thank you.